Hi, another horror film I watched this week was The Fiend, also released as Beware My Brethren. The comma is optional in that title, I believe. It was a horror thriller from 1971, but is more of a suspense drama, perhaps, than a horror thriller. It's loosely based around a evangelical religious sect based somewhere in London, having taken over the house of a rather lonely old woman who's raised her now adult son. She's rather bitter about the world, very distrustful of women for reasons of her own that become a little clearer later in the film, and has, as I say, an adult son with her long lost husband who left her for another woman. The son has two jobs. He works as a security rider for a delivery company and also as a local pool attendant. But he also has another sideline, which is that he murders women attempting to save their souls. This is combined with the extreme closed nature of the sect. The minister, played by Patrick Magee, preaches that people must stay at home and pray, only ever leaving the house to either spread the word or undertake such work as is necessary for them to have a regular income. And then, even then, it must not be any kind of sinful work. The police investigate the various murders, but our main character is really the murderer himself, played by Tony Beckley, who seemed to have something of a stock in trade in playing sex murderers. I've seen a number of films with him in, and the only ones that he's played anyone even remotely not a sex murderer are The Italian Job, where he plays one of Michael Caine's cohorts named Camp Freddy, and a Doctor Who serial, in which he played a James Bond-style villain who wanted the world to be taken over by murderous plants. There are elements of Brian De Palma in the film, I think, where there are, for example, there's a cross-cutting sequence from one character being baptized to another woman being drowned. There are some verite scenes of the main character attempting to preach on the street to what look like real people and trying to get them interested in the completely fictitious cult of which he's a member. It goes a bit over the top towards the end. There's a climax that feels very, very Brian De Palma, really, in terms of going so much further than Hitchcock ever could and much more lurid and gaudy. And there's another issue, which is that throughout the film, there are a lot of naked breasts. There's a lot of nudity all the way through the movie, and it seems there solely to sell tickets and get people to sit on the seats, so to speak. And it just feels rather sleazy, with that toned down to a more appropriate level of necessary nudity, you could say. I think this could have been a far superior film, something that's a bit more thoughtful about religion as a means of control, of the abuse that can be levied through manipulating people through their faith, and the sublimated feelings and desires that lead people to embrace strict religious cults. However, as it is, it's compromised by having to cater to this lowest common denominator, rather seedy audience that the film tries to aim itself at. And as a result, it's a historical curio, absolutely, and it has strong elements, including some fine performances, but it's not really that great.